Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and in this video we're going to be having a look at a mod for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, available across all systems, called the Last Raider X3, and it is by Zidon. Now, there will be a link in the description box down below to where you can check out the PC version, and the console version can be found on your mod browser on your respective system, whether that is Xbox or PlayStation. Now, you guys may or may not be able to tell what this is based off of, although I feel like it's fairly obvious to tell what it's based off of, and we're going to go ahead and take it into the garage, customize it, see what's on offer in terms of customization features, and then we're going to take it out for a test run and see what it's all about. Definitely roars to life with that, like, very classic old school sound. So, as you can tell, the suspension is definitely in a lower mode right now, but in terms of engines, which is what we're going to go through first, you're going to be starting off with a 2.25 liter inline 4. You can move up then to a 2.6 liter inline 6, which will give you a B power to weight rating. The 2.25 liter inline 4 gives you a C+, and then you can also move up to a 3.5 liter V8, which gives you an A- power to weight rating, and then finally, you can move up to a 5 liter V8, which gives you an A+ power to weight rating. So I think we're going to be going with that. I feel like most people will go with that unless you're looking for a different type of experience, but that's what we're going to go ahead and put in this thing. Now, Gearbox-wise, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting because stock has 5 gears in automatic, 1 low, and no high. Highway has 6 automatic gears, 1 low and high. Off-road is 4 automatic gears, 3 lows and a high, but a lower top speed. And then Highway Special is basically an improvement over the standard Highway transmission, but it is also a lot more expensive. And then the Off-Road Special is yet again an improvement over the standard off-road transmission, but it is also more expensive. Basically, this one has 5 automatic gears, 3 lows, and a high gear with a higher top speed. So it seems to be the best overall option for what we want to do with this thing. So we'll grab the Off-Road Special. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting in terms of the suspension options. So you have Soft Crawler 1, 2, and 3, and they're basically all soft flexi crawler suspensions with different ride heights. Then you have Stock, you have Raised, and you have Ultimate. So basically, the stock, raised, and ultimate suspensions all have a soft crawler-focused counterpart suspension with these. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go with, this one has a little bit of an odd lean to it, but I want to see how the vehicle reacts when I run soft crawler, probably soft crawler 2, and then we'll switch it up to soft crawler 3 a little bit after that. Now, tires-wise, you can go up to a 35 in terms of highways, and then in all-terrains, you have 39s as an option, although we didn't go with the top suspension yet, so the top suspension will definitely be what you would want for the 39s. Obviously, they're going to rub the fender wells pretty hard there. Now, mud tires-wise, you do have some custom tires here, which are pretty good-looking tires, I gotta say. I definitely think that I would like to run the ones that are a little bit more reminiscent of a Super Swamper, but oh, those wheels are a little weird looking. Oh, I like those. I don't know what the heck those are based on. Oh, I do like the boggers, though. The boggers do look pretty good. Now, I think I might actually go with the boggers. Now, the only problem with that is... Oh, wait, no, they go backwards. Okay. Now, the 39s in that actually fit better than the other 39s. I'm going to go with the... I'm actually going to go with the 39s, as odd as that might sound. Now, I am going to look through the rest of these. Okay, so they have some... They have a couple of different tire types that are more modified versions of the one from the base game. We're going to go with the 39-inch bogger. And then roof ladder, you can definitely go ahead and put on. I'm going to put that on for sure. Roof fog lights, because honestly, on something like this, the roof fog lights just work and they make a lot of sense. And then you have, let's see, protector and snorkel 2, winch, and protector and snorkel. Now, let's see. Let's do protector and snorkel 2. And then, of course, the winch comes with that. And then you have one wheel choice, and then when you get over to the colors, some of these don't actually line up with the color that they represent, but that's okay. I mean, as you go through, some of them actually have these very interesting fades to them, and these interesting, like, two-tones almost. And I do like what he's done with this rig and made it look very weathered. You know what I mean? It's got that weathered look. It's got that look of being out in the wilderness for a very long time. And I actually really like this dark green. The dark green looks really good. Oh, disappointingly, you can't put anything in the interior. There's no interior customization, but that's all right. So let's go ahead and take it out now and see what it can do. And honestly, I gotta say, it looks very good. It really, really does look very good. And if you're looking for a classic off-roader experience or even like a classic overlander experience, this is definitely something that can get you that. Although, if you're looking for a very realistic experience in line with what a stock one of these would drive like, I don't recommend the 5.0 V8 because as you can see, I just absolutely tore out of that garage and just like whipped a half donut basically. It is, like, hilariously powerful with the 5.0 V8. So let's see how it does in our normal lineup of tests. That includes the hill climb, the mud sections, and the dips. And then after that, we're going to take it to the bridge jump and have some real fun with it. And we're definitely going to go ahead and throw in the upgraded highway gearbox for that so we can have as much speed as possible. Now let's see how high range does through the river and a little bit of softer ground. Not bad. I've got to say, not bad. Very, very straightforward, easy to use. Nothing right off the bat that I would say would be bad. Let's go ahead and see how it does up the hill climb. There's high. This is with no diff locks on, by the way. Wow, really good job there. Like, really, really, really good job. Let's take it into a little bit of a crawling scenario, although we won't spend much time doing a crawling scenario because I want to get, obviously, into the other tests, and I'm on a little bit more of a mud setup right now with the tires, but it's kind of weird because I'm on a rock setup with the suspension and a mud setup with the tires. But nevertheless, let's lock in those diffs and see how this thing does in a proper rock scenario. Ooh, bad line choice on my part. The tires are a little slippy on the rocks, I've got to say, or at least this particular choice of tire. I'm sure if we went with a different tire that was better on rocks, we'd have a little bit better luck, but wow! Nonetheless, this thing just crawled right up whatever was in its way. Really good job, like respectable job there on that. That was very effortless. Very, very effortless. Let's see how it does going down the side because this is very steep. Try to ease it down. Trying not to roll over. Not bad. Really, really not bad. I have nothing but respect for this thing's performance so far. And it also has no damage so far. It's been extremely, extremely reliable. Now, I also have to say, this is not the top flexi suspension. This is the sort of mid-grade flexi suspension, but I thought I was going to have to upgrade, but clearly that's not necessarily the case. So let's see how she does in some proper mud. And also, well, I guess looking at the interior, there's not really, the interior leaves a little bit to be desired, but I don't say that in a bad way. I mean, after looking at the interior, I get why there isn't any interior customization, put it that way. And that's not, you know, ripping on this thing or anything like that. I mean, it just means that he probably prefers to drive in an exterior view, and so he didn't really spend all that much time on the interior, and that's fine. I know a lot of people never touch interior view, and that's okay, you know, it's all personal preference. Let's see how you do. It's not a fan of that in high, for sure. Now, low plus in the first mud lane does it no problem with the lockers on. Let's see how it does in the second mud lane, because the second mud lane gets a lot deeper very quickly. So, had to back it off down to standard low, because I could tell it was already starting to spin and sink a little bit. But this test should go by fairly quickly once we have it in low, which obviously we do now, like standard low. I'm hoping we don't have to go into low minus, because that would be a very slow go, but as long as we don't have to go into low minus, we should be okay. Now, wow, that's actually, like, really close to contacting the body lines. Like, if this was, like, you know, obviously real world, I feel like the back of the front fender would have to be trimmed or shaved a little bit, because there may be some rubbing there. But, I mean, that would be just an easy fix you could do with a grinder. And, you know, you do it with a grinder, you take the rest of the metal, you bend it back, you weld it on, and then you spray some anti-rust paint all over it, and you're good to go. There's your trail rig fix. But let's go ahead and ease it out of the mud. Put it back off the throttle a little bit, but put it in low plus. Then we're going to kick it back into automatic, put it back into high, and we'll make our way back across this mud field and get it into the dips obstacle. Now, the only challenge in the dips obstacle is obviously going to be high centering, but I really don't think it's going to. It's a little bit, like, longer on the wheelbase side, but I think the tire size should make up for that. Blockers on. Let's see how she does if I just go after it straight forward. Now, the front overhang with this tire size, the 39s, is actually not bad at all. The rear overhang is what's worse, which really you see that flipped most of the time. Normally it's the front overhang that's worse, but here it's the rear. And that's not really causing us all that much issue. I don't really think it will cause us much issue. And I definitely don't think that it'll cause you issue whether you decide to use this on obstacle courses or in a campaign playthrough, which, by the way, this would slot right into a modded campaign playthrough so well. So now that we've done our standard run of obstacles, which, by the way, this thing did beautifully, we are going to now switch it up to the highway suspension. And let's see. Turbo highway. And that gives us 7 gear. Oh boy. All right, 7 gears in automatic mode. That's pretty sick. I also want some nice weather for this, so I'm going to be that guy and just, like, flip the game time right from the dev tools. Now, one thing that I would be a little bit concerned about if you're running the V8, the big V8, the 5.0, in a campaign map is maybe fuel consumption, because the fuel consumption isn't terrible. It's only like 1 liter a minute. However, you're only running a 19-gallon tank. So in SnowRunner terms, a 19-gallon tank isn't all that big. However, if you were to bring along supplies or like maybe a small fuel trailer, you would be just fine. So that's kind of a one of the normal give and take elements of using any rig, but it might be just a little bit of a concern for this thing. Just a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit. Now, let's go ahead and run this guy down the bridge and see how he does off the bridge jump. Now, I will go into the interior view for a moment. No. All right, go, 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 go. That way the camera won't glitch on the bridge. Oh! Right into the barrels. Like, literally, I was like, is it going to go over or is it going to go right into him? It went right into him. Now, what's interesting is this thing did not encounter any suspension damage throughout this entire test until it did the bridge jump, and that was only because it smashed into one of the barrels. So it's a very stout rig, and it's definitely a rig I would recommend to anybody that was looking for a realistic mod that they could just go ahead and slot into a modded campaign playthrough and not really worry too much about balance, especially if you use one of the other engines. Now, granted, some may find the 5.0 V8 a little OP, but that is up to your personal decision and up to your personal taste. Now, if you enjoyed this video, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys next time.